Massey Family's Cassandra, and we are doing another installation of our Interview a Genealogist series. And I know how you guys love those. Today we have the Family Reunion Institute with us, and this is just an absolute privilege right now to have them on with us. And I met Dr. Ione Vargas and her daughter Suzanne at a family reunion conference about 3 years ago. And that was my introduction to the Family Reunion Institute, and they have so many valuable resources. But I'm going to let our guests for today introduce themselves, and that's going to be Reverend Doug Harris and Mrs. Helen Wilkinson.
Good morning. Family Reunion Institute holds a special place in my heart in twofold. I was there from the beginning. Dr. Vargas was my dean, graduate school dean, and undergraduate, for real. At any rate, I know her work has been extensive. It was very easy to buy in. My background is I have degrees in social work and social administration. I have degrees in education. I've gone from classroom all the way up to associate superintendent. Each time I made another hurdle, I look in the audience and there Dr. Vargas has stood. I received many awards in this area and in other areas. But I think what holds dear, because after a certain age, I said, okay, I got to make a choice on what organizations I'm going to be a part of. National Association of University Women, Coalition of 100 Black Women, and the two that I settled on, and I will not leave the Family Reunion Institute, and of course, my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. It has been a pleasure. I have been a part of the Planning and Action Committee. I have been a presenter. I've gone across the country speaking to groups from the philanthropic organizations to the hotel and tourism in New Orleans, and it has just been a pleasure. I am very, very involved with my four links of family, both my mother and father's side. I held the office as president, well, secretary first, and then later president of our national Dow Howe Association. So that tells a little bit about me.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'll tell you a little something about me. I have not been with the Family Reunion Institute since its founding. I came into it in a sort of accidental way, in that the Family Reunion Institute was a client for the company that Sylvia Ford-George and I worked for. And just hearing about it, meeting Dr. Vargas, then hearing about it and working on some of the communications for the Family Reunion Institute, I not only became interested, but I've developed a real bond, not only with Dr. Vargas, but with the other board members. It's a wonderful group to work with. Quite frankly, everybody's intelligent, we all get along, and we're just a great group. But to tell you more about me, I see myself within my family as the family griot, the family storyteller. And along those lines, I've written 3 books. One is my mother's memoir entitled The Marvel Chronicles. The other is my grandfather's story called The Life, Legend, and Legacy of John Allen Harris. And then the other book I've written is about the Black people in the tight-knit community that I grew in. Is literally the story of the village that raised me, and the people who were such an important part of it. I am currently retired, I guess I would describe my career as a communications professional. There's many dimensions of it.
Mhm.
I've been somewhat of a groundbreaker in that I was the highest ranking Black person in 3 Fortune 500 companies. It sort of happened without me realizing that it was happening. And also now in retirement, I am an associate pastor at my church, Kingdom Worship Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Now I'd like to tell you something about the Family Reunion Institute. Helen has already mentioned Dr. Vargas and what a great figure she is. She was the first African-American dean at Temple University and a groundbreaker in many ways in that her research led to the forming of the Family Reunion Institute, which she researched and documented how important family reunions are to the strength of the Black family. We're now celebrating 31 years of the Family Reunion Institute. We have a website and Facebook presence with information and resources that revive, maintain, and strengthen extended families and family reunions. Our website address is www.familyreunioninstitute.net. Family Reunion Institute is all one word. And you can also see us on Facebook, just search for the Family Reunion Institute. Finally, you need to know that Dr. Vargas has just published a new book this year entitled Black Family Reunions, Finding the Rest of Me. It is not only it not only documents family reunions, but also is a roadmap and a guidebook for how to go about setting up and maintaining a family reunion.
Nice. That's very nice. Well, thank you so much. Did you have anything else to add? Not yet. Oh, right.
I think he said it all.
Okay. I wanted to also introduce Sylvia Ford-George, and I know she's just here kind of observing, but I didn't want to not mention her. So greetings to you and welcome, and thank you for sitting in with us.
Well,
right.
thank you, Cassandra.
You're welcome. Okay, so one of the things that we do on our family Facebook page is we post topics from month to month or whatever about different things. And so this last particular week, we had one that people really seemed to connect with, and it was on family secrets. Now, I know that one of the great things I loved about the Family Reunion Institute's website is you guys have a section called Sticky Situations. And I would just go through that thing and be like, wow, are they talking about my family? What is happening here? And it was just so many different things. And I know that it would be good for my family to at least to hear from some experts, you know, in family reunions on how secrets keep and create tension within the family. So I wanted to ask Reverend Harris and Ms. Wilkinson, if you could talk a little bit about that. And I know my family has secrets like everybody else's, and how should they be able to, how can we start dealing with some of those secrets?
Okay, I'll start out and first of all relate to you a sticky reunion situation that we received in our response to it. I think you'll be able to relate to it. Now here's the sticky reunion situation. Says, when my father passed away nearly a year ago, me, my mom, 2 brothers and sister found out that he had another family in addition to the 2 other kids that we knew of. My father's family, his mom, dad, and siblings knew about this other family, which strained our relationship with them. For us kids, it wasn't just the not knowing that hurt, it was the secrecy of it all. And we were also curious. We have siblings that we don't know but should. My oldest brother is suggesting that all my dad's kids and just the kids get together on the anniversary of my father's passing. And we're all kind of receptive to this, but want to know how to go about it so that it ends up being something good and positive. Also, my dad's immediate family wants to attend, but we don't want them to. Is this wrong? And the response is, the idea is a good one, particularly the part about having only the siblings meet. There will be enough baggage and issues with just the siblings. Allowing other family members to be part of it runs the risk of more drama and revisiting old hurts. Now, we also recommend that an invitation be sent to the siblings only, emphasizing that only siblings are to attend the meeting. This should be an ultimatum, not a request, and that the purpose of the meeting is to get to know each other, not to point blame or relive old hurts. No one, child or adult, is responsible for the decisions and actions of parents. We need to ask you, or you need to ask the siblings to come prepared to answer questions and discuss topics such as, what hobbies you enjoy? What makes you laugh? What do you do for a living? Your favorite movie of all time and your current favorite. Your favorite recording artist. Your biggest challenges and victories. Something that most people don't know about you. Your birthday, the month, and the day. Now, the whole purpose of this is to get to know each other because you haven't over all these years.
Right.
Since this is the first meeting and you don't know each other well, the brother who suggested the meeting may be the best one to take the lead. Once you've had a chance to meet and get to know one another better and have decided to meet again, you can think through which sibling would be the best moderator the next time around. But we have some ground rules and suggested guidelines. Make a pact not to discuss who your dad was a better father to, your mom's or your dad's relationships with your moms. Don't dwell on your dad and what he did or did not do. Do not bash him. No one can answer to the why questions about him, so don't try. Work instead on getting to know one another and grow as siblings. Do your best to support one another. Make it clear that politics and religion are off the table, and that whenever anyone says, I'd rather not talk about that, everyone must honor that request and change the subject. Now, near the end of the meeting, we suggest that you discuss whether the meeting was positive and beneficial. If you and your siblings want to meet again, the possibility of if, when, and how to invite your dad's extended family in, and whether to plan a reunion as the next step. Discuss ways to share pictures and keep in touch. Identify everyone's birth date so you can continue celebrating and getting to know each other through the year. Consider having future meetings around upcoming birthdays. That might be a way to make sure you get together and have a chance to exchange. And remember that good things can come out of not so good situations. It's good that all the siblings want to come together. You should get to know one another. After all, you are more than just brothers and sisters. You are a family.
All right. I like that a lot. A lot of that made perfect sense. I had to take notes.
Okay. Helen?
Well, Papa was indeed a Rolling Stone. I've seen this happen in my family, and many of my good girlfriends. They were the ones that felt comfortable discussing that. One of the pieces that I just want to add on about knowing your relatives and being able to make that connection. I think it was my 11th grade in high school, and I brought this young man home. My mother took one look at him and told him who his mother was, who the rest of his relatives was. And I was thankful because I was getting ready to consider dating him. So that's another piece about family secrets.
Absolutely.
Siblings have a tendency to gravitate.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
that's where there's a series called That's Where the Fight Started. Go on Facebook, I think, or Yahoo, they have a million. That's how the fight started, and it's hilarious. But at any rate, this happens,
Mm-hmm.
and basically none of the children are at fault. The dad, in a sense, back in the day, they used to have to travel and stay for long periods of time away from the family.
Mm.
Human nature sort of crept in, and the outcomes very interesting. And I'm not going to say any more about that. My sticky reunion situation is recently, and I'll read it as it is. Recently, my uncle let it slip that my sister, and it's in quotes, is actually my cousin. And my mom is actually her aunt. When we confronted my mom and my grandmother, they said it was true. My quote unquote cousin is devastated. And we both feel conflicted and betrayed. Our reunion is coming up soon, and we're sure that this will be the topic of discussion the entire weekend. What should we do? And I think we're old enough to know that this happens in families frequently.
All the time.
I had eye surgery yesterday, so if I stumble because I'm having a hard time trying to adjust the lights to these colors, please forgive me. Handling this at the family reunion is not the path to take. Handling something this sensitive at the reunion can open up the door for disastrous fallout, and that the family possibly may never recover at this point. However, in some families, as I said earlier, this situation is standard. Someone having a child not capable of taking care of infant is given to a family member to rear. And with that, sometimes revisiting is painful, and over the years, you just hope that it disappears about the whole action. The last thing you want to do is to be the topic at the reunion. Okay, I'm going to use this. I would advise you to enjoy that day and its purpose. Spending time responding to the question and inquiries at your reunion, it sort of defeats the whole purpose of the family reunion. This is something that can be dealt with at a later time. Unfortunately, you're going to have folks who go out of their way to stir the pot. Be prepared for this. Talk about it. Clearly, one or more family members, other than the grandmother, the mother, basically many people within that 3-generational cycle that you mentioned, speaking to the person who wrote this, developed an unwritten pact of silence to hide this for various reasons.
Mm.
And I guess they should have been prepared for the loose lips during conversation that you are part of the gossip, and some child or other will hear this. And later down the line, at the most inopportune time, we'll talk about it. How you handle this disturbing news can set the tone. And the two of you will be able to walk away victorious if you handle it properly. I suggest that the two of you talk about it. What is your platform? How you're going to respond so that it's a uniform response. If, excuse me again. Okay, you need to talk about house rules. House rules, family generations, family expectations, fun times, trips, baking, to build your connectivity. You may also talk about your spiritual foundation so that the hate or feelings are not, how can I put it? The feelings are not so devastating. You rely on that spiritual foundation. You think about the loving relationship that you overall have with your family. And think about the trials and tribulations that you all have overcome, where both of you have supported one another as you should at this particular time. The bottom line you have to think about, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Family is family. You're bound by blood. And if handled properly, you will get through it. You probably have more people supporting you than you know.
All right. Thank you.
And Sylvia and Doug, I apologize for me going off script.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. I think Cassandra, when we sent the response out on the online on the website, a couple things that Helen didn't mention was that we said that as for the reunion, there are probably some family members who already know about the secret, but since it hasn't been mentioned before, they probably won't now. And that the young lady should feel empowered enough to say, to come up with their own conversation. So if people come up to them, they can say, we see ourselves as sisters and it's all that matters. There's nothing else to talk about, or we don't need to talk about it, or ask people out of respect for us, let's not talk about it. And or we can say, talk to you later. And if you must, bye, Felicia, move on,
Yes.
The purpose of the reunion is just for them to go and have a good time. If people talk among themselves about it, so be it. You don't have to join in the conversation or feed the rumors, because eventually all of that will become a non-issue. And if you love going to the reunion and you still want to go, just go and enjoy and have fun. And remember that, your sisters, your family loves you, and you are in charge of the conversation. So.
Yeah, that's excellent. The couple of things that I picked up from the notes I was writing is, you can prep for these conversations instead of just walking into a room and stuff just popping off. You can literally kind of go ahead and, like Doug said, make a pact about, what's going to be talked about. Or I think Ms. Wilkinson said that, you can choose how to respond to that. And that, I mean, that's excellent because I know this coming reunion, we're going to have all these new people coming together and they're finding out how they're related. And we got a lot of sticky situations in there. And, you know, it's good to know that I can possibly talk to a few people and say, you don't have to talk about that, you know,
Right.
before we even get there. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I wish Miss Suzanne could have been here with us as well, but this was an honor and a privilege for me to be able to speak with you all. I'm trying to learn the genealogy thing, but it's been a pleasure talking with you all today. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
It's been our pleasure.